Hello, how you guys doing? Hope you have a good evening, good morning, good day, where you at. Well, I'm going. I decided to go back towards the relationship part of this topic, and being a black man, you learn a lot, and I'm admire for the people who do date and marry black men because I didn't know certain ones, and I was really shocked when I found out certain groups of women had black husbands because and I guess it's kind of surprising, but maybe I haven't come across it, or I probably live in a state, or I probably I was always thought it was in another country. But the first topic group, you're gonna be surprised, and I kind of said this, but I didn't know, but these women gonna confirm what I've been saying, and I made about
why wait to get paid with
certain cultures. Damn, I just had it. And one of the cultures was the Indians. Watch this.
Indian woman speaks on colorism and racism in Indian culture. A lot of people is coming out. They speaking up about this. You remember, that Arab girl? I did a video with her. I did a few videos with white people, Asian people. It seemed like something is happening. Something is changing in the world, that more people is coming out and fighting against racism. They are joining the fight with black people to go against racism.
Colorism permeates South Asian culture. We love whiteness, and both in terms of the skin, but also in terms of our internalization of white supremacy and racism. We have internalized racism, and we have come to believe that whiteness is better than brownness, and it shows up in things like colorism, where we tell our children to not sit in the sun, to use skin bleaching cream products, and more. This is a manifestation of white supremacy. It's a manifestation of racism, and we have come to believe this. And I'm so done with the colorism in our community, in our culture. So after today, I would love for you to join me in calling out colorism. When you hear comments being made in our culture around how fair is beauty, I want you to call it out. And instead, what we really should be doing is cultivating self-love. We want to be in a place where we embrace how beautiful we are, the melanin in our skin, our brownness.
Happy summer. I cannot believe that I still need to talk to some of y'all about this. Do not tell your brown children to stay out of the sun this summer. Do not offer skin lightening agents to counteract the effect of the sun on your brown children's skin. Do not slather your children in sunscreen with the intent of keeping them light, but rather with the intent of protecting them from skin cancer. Our skin is the imprint of our heritage, of our ancestors, and you will not be making children, literal children, think about how their skin is less desirable than white skin. Let your kids play in the goddamn sun this summer.
Bad. After looking at you as a fair woman, Beyonce would feel inferior. Just a friendly reminder, Beyonce's black. Y'all will continue to say colorism in India does not exist when Indian women can't even turn on the TV. Imagine being an Indian woman, turning on the TV, Beyonce, and then imagine going to the drugstore after and seeing Fair and Lovely bleaching products literally everywhere. Going to an auntie and uncle's house, and then the auntie's like, oh, you got so dark. There is no escaping colorism and the Eurocentrism that was implemented by colonizers. And the fact that this video can exist in 2020 and the production company actors didn't say anything about it is unbelievably problematic and embarrassing. Imagine having colorism in 2020. What the heck? What?
Tell me somebody's colorist without saying they're colorist.
So when I was 6 or 7, I was in first grade at the time. I was a part of a Bollywood dance group, and I went over to one of the girls' houses because they were having practice there, and her whole family basically wouldn't acknowledge me, and they would only always serve me food on a metal tray, and they wouldn't let their kids touch that metal tray. And it's all because of obviously the caste system, and I was much darker than their children. So then obviously when my white mom came to come get me, they were shook because they treated me so badly, and it went down. When I tell you all it went down, it went down. We never went back there again. No more dance group for me. Over. And as a 7-year-old, I didn't understand what was going on, but now as an adult, I do, and it's triggering.
Because everyone watches Bollywood. Also, I specifically said South Asian, not South Indian. Bollywood, so far, has only been having actors that look white, which is very problematic because Bollywood is so popular. Not only do South Asians watch it, a lot of people from different countries watch Bollywood movies. And the representation in those movies is so problematic because there are people in my comment section who are foreigners, non-South Asians, who tell me that they did not know that Indians like me existed, meaning Indians of my skin tone or darker than me existed. Only after we started putting ourselves on the internet did they think, oh wow, there are brown and dark skin Indians, South Asians? Why is it not there in Bollywood movies? There is colorism everywhere. But the reason why I hold Bollywood to such a high standard and I talk about them and I attack them on my page is because how popular they are, how much power they hold. Because people watch Bollywood movies and make their assumptions about us.
India.
By us, I mean the rest of South Asia, the rest of India, and they think that we look like those people, those actors, those white-looking actors, and they think that that's what South Asians look like. Nope. South Asia is very, very diverse. India is very diverse, but we don't have any representation. In my own country, I don't have representation. And Hollywood is doing a much better job at that. Which I think, like, that's weird to me.
I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's been bothering me. Recently, I've seen a lot of videos on TikTok and Instagram. South Asians asking the British Empire to return the Kohinoor diamond back to India after the Queen passed away. Sari blouses apparently not being a thing, and that they were introduced by the British Empire to cover a woman's modesty. You know, we're pointing fingers at the British Empire for all these things, and yet they left 75 years ago, and we're still holding on to one of the biggest legacies they've left behind: fair skin privilege and colorism. Okay, so I know that colorism did exist in South Asia before they arrived, but let's be very honest, their arrival exacerbated the problem, right? And we're still holding on to that. In fact, it's thriving. Colorism is thriving in India. We're holding on to that. We're holding on to internalized racism. I think it's high time we start looking within and fix those problems first.
So do my Indian parents finally accept my half-black children? Let's get into it. So last I left off, I haven't spoken to my dad in over a decade. I think the last time I spoke to him was in 2013. I don't need him in my kids' lives. He disowned me a long time ago, or I felt he disowned me, even though I felt like he wanted to communicate with me, but he didn't want to own up to the fact that he has half black grandchildren.
Love sees no color. What her family done is completely unacceptable. They had disowned her for having mixed children with her black husband. Now, as long as her husband, don't matter the race or the color, as long as he treats her good and respects her, no one should have a problem with that. No one whatsoever.
He would tell people I'm off somewhere studying, the kids didn't exist, there's no pictures of me in this house, there's no pictures of the kids in this house. Anytime I would see one of his friends, oh, how's school? Bro, I'm married. But anyways, yeah, I don't need that in my life. You'll learn more about my upbringing with my dad and my stepmother in another video. There's a lot there. Anyway, so now let's get into my mom. I tried. Guys, I tried. And I'm like, okay, let's see if she changed. And I would use little triggers to see how she would react. There were 3 things that I'm like, wow, you can still do this to this day? So one was my 21-year-old hurt his Achilles in December. He got hurt. I told Instagram, Facebook, all of that. So my mom follows me on Facebook, so she read it. And I also told my sister, who told my mom. My mom writes me 4 days after it happened, and she wrote me on Facebook Messenger. She's like, is, Elijah okay? I was like, he's okay. He's in a lot of pain. She wrote me 2 days after that message and gave me a thumbs up emoji. A thumbs up. Okay, whatever. So I decided to visit my sister in Maryland, and because she just had a baby, and I wanted to see my nieces. There's 2 of them. So I went there with my oldest daughter, who was her favorite when I was younger. She was literally like, give me her, and I want to raise her again like she was her daughter, because, apparently she didn't raise me and my sister right. Yeah, anyways. So I brought her to Maryland to see her grandmother, because she also wanted to see her uncle and her aunt and all of that good stuff. And my mom, the only thing she really said to my daughter was hi. There was no conversation. There was no, oh, how's school? Or what are you doing? Are you working? There was no trying to get to know her granddaughter at all. And I'm like, that's crazy. You would think she wants to get to know her grandchild. Like, who wouldn't want to get to know your grandchild? If I had a grandchild, I want to know everything about that child. But yeah, she really wasn't trying to talk to that child. And it was very disheartening to see. Very disheartening.
I'm not the only one made this video about it.
So I can keep working my magic. Just one a week. 12 hours of uninterrupted pain relief. Aleve, who do you take it for? And for fast topical pain relief, try Aleve X.
What's it? You weren't the only one who made a video.
Colorism permeates South Asian culture. We love whiteness, and both in terms of the skin, but also in terms of our internalization of white supremacy and racism. We have internalized racism, and we have come to believe that whiteness is better than brownness, and it shows up in things like colorism, where we tell our children to not sit in the sun, to use skin bleaching cream products, and more. This is a manifestation of white supremacy. It's a manifestation of racism, and we have come to believe this. And I'm so done with the colorism in our community, in our culture.
Yeah, India is one of the hottest countries on the planet.
For you to join me in calling out colorism. When you hear comments being made in our culture around how fair is beauty, I want you to call it out.
That's a serious brainwash right there, I tell you.
What we really should be doing is cultivating self-love. We want to be in a place where we embrace how beautiful we are, the melanin in our skin, our brownness.
Happy summer. I cannot believe that I still need to talk to some of y'all about this. Do not tell your brown children to stay out of the sun this summer. Do not offer skin lightening agents to counteract the effect of the sun on your brown children's skin. Do not slather your children in sunscreen with the intent of keeping them light, but rather with the intent of protecting them from skin cancer. Our skin is the imprint of our heritage, of our ancestors, and you will not be making children, literal children, think about how their skin is less desirable than white skin. Let your kids play in the goddamn sun this summer.
It's another content creator video.
After looking at you as a fair woman, Beyonce would feel inferior. Just a friendly reminder, Beyonce's black. Y'all will continue to say colorism in India does not exist when Indian women can't even turn on the TV. Imagine being an Indian woman, turning on the TV, Beyonce, and then imagine going to the drugstore after and seeing Fair and Lovely bleaching products literally everywhere. Going to like an auntie and uncle's house, and then the auntie's like, oh, you got so dark. There is no escaping colorism and the Eurocentrism that was implemented by colonizers. And the fact that this video can exist in 2020 and the production company, actors didn't say anything about it is unbelievably problematic and embarrassing. Imagine having colorism in 2020. What the heck? Like, what?
Tell me somebody's colorist without saying they're colorist.
So when I was like 6 or 7, I was in first grade.
Also, I specifically said South Asian, not South Indian. Bollywood so far has only been having actors that look white, which is very problematic because Bollywood is so popular. Not only do South Asians watch it, a lot of people from different countries watch Bollywood movies. And the representation in those movies is so problematic because there are people in my comment section who are foreigners, non-South Asians, who tell me that they did not know that Indians like me existed, meaning Indians of my skin tone or darker than me existed. Only after we started putting ourselves on the internet did they think, oh wow, there are brown and dark skin Indians, South Asians? Why is it not there in Bollywood movies? There is colorism everywhere. But the reason why I hold Bollywood to such a high standard and I talk about them and I attack them on my page is because how popular they are, how much power they hold. Because people watch Bollywood movies and make their assumptions about us. By us I mean the rest of South Asia, the rest of India, and they think that we look like those people, those actors, those white looking actors, and they think that that's what South Asians look like. Nope. South Asia is very, very diverse. India is very diverse, but we don't have any representation. In my own country, I don't have representation. And Hollywood is doing a much better job at that.
You see how white is worship? Some of us black people kind of bring this to the forefront. And it's in the Hindu religion, Christian religion, Islam religion, because they got a colorist thing too. They're colorists too, and a Catholic religion. It's crazy, man. And India is next to the equator. It's like how you go to the. If you feel that so uncomfortable about skin color and teaching your kid. Why go to Europe? I mean, seriously. I mean, you worship white so much. That's crazy. But it ain't just them.
I think you should do your homework before you talk about Dominicans. So it's not about race. You don't know our history. You don't know our genetics. Because we're Dominican, we are a special race. We have Taino on our blood. We have European on our blood when they came on 1492. You should know that before you talk about our race. You were talking about this girl that she says she's not black. And she was right. She's not black. She's Dominican. If you ask me who I am, I'm going to tell you I'm Dominican. If you ask me, are you white? I'm going to tell you, no, I'm not. Even though I am white.
Dímelo, cabrón, ¿qué necesito? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak in Spanish. Sorry, porque you look just like my cousin, that's why I speaking to you in Spanish. What do you want? Can I try the mofongo? Mofongo, what? And what is your name for the order? Oh, my name is Carlo. Carlo? That's my name. This is the first time I see a black Carlo. I never seen a black Carlo before. You just said your name was Carlo. Sí, pero I'm Boricua, I'm not black. Listen, brother, you might have a little bit more seasoning to you, but if I'm black, then you black and mild. Tú estás cabrón. No sé nada de lo que estás hablando. Mira, yo soy Boricua por siempre, and you black, you can keep that one. You might be Puerto Rican, but you black as Coke Zero, brother. Okay, here's your order, Senor Bicho. What does that mean? Senor Bicho? That's like, you're my brother, porque, we're black. Hey, we both learned this stuff today. Sí, muy bueno. Okay, mama huevazo. Mama huevazo indeed.
So, I know you guys see the title and you're like, JR, I'm Dominican, I know black. And this was obviously Puerto Rican guy, right? Puertorriqueño. Boricua. He's Boricua. He's not black. Which is just one of those things. And the islands is completely different with people down there, Afro-Latino and all these other terms. But at the end of the day, you're still black. And that's how it's taught. And we're going to get into a few clips here with some actual Dominicans talking to this guy about basically the indoctrination and how you're taught in school that the Spanish came in and are the saviors. But the Spanish came in and they're the saviors. And you were basically just savages before they came in. And you are are taught that the whiteness or the lighter your skin is, the better you are. This is taught a lot of places. In Indian culture, Southeast Asian culture, it's just one of those things where the lighter your skin is, the better off you are. Even in the black community here in America, the lighter your skin is, the less struggle, and you're better for some reason, but because you're Puerto Rican or you may be Dominican. And some Dominicans do recognize their blackness. They do embrace their blackness, even though they have a first cousin that's Haitian. You know what I'm saying? Or their mom may be Haitian. And somehow, obviously, this is just a border, for lack of a better term, and came over. But you're black at the end of the day. But let's get into this whole Dominican thing where this guy right here, he gets upset and livid, and he actually calls himself white, and he believes that being Dominican is a race. But let's get into that, guys. Let's go.
You don't know much about Dominicans. I think you should do your homework before you talk about Dominicans. I see in a video that you talk about we deported people because they're black, and Mexico's deporting a lot of Haitians. So it's not about race. You don't know our history. You don't know our genetics, because we Dominican, we are a special race. We have Taino on our blood. We have European on our blood when they came on 1492. You should know that before you talk about our race. You were talking about this girl that she said she's not black, and she was right. She's not black. She's Dominican. If you ask me who I am gonna tell you I'm Dominican. If you ask me, are you white? I'm gonna tell you no, I'm not. Even though I am white.
First thing you said is we Dominicans were a special race. Dominican is not a race. Dominican is a nationality. You said Dominicans are a special race because we're mixed with different races. I got newsflash for you. Every people in the Americas is mixed with all of these three races. All of us. So there's nothing special about you or Dominicans at all. You are just a product of colonization as well as ethnic cleansing like the rest of us, sir. Okay? That was a mistake right there. No such thing as Dominicans as a special race. What makes you special? That you mix with all these races? We all are. And the reasons for being mixed with all these races, it's not a good reason. It's nothing to romanticize. It's nothing to say, oh my God, you are a product of grape, is what you are. Now, addressing the video about the young lady who was Dominican who said, I'm not African descent, I'm Hispanic, I speak Spanish. She is phenotypically African descent, black. You cannot tell the difference between her and a black American. The only time you'll even tell the difference is when she opens her mouth and speaks Spanish. Is he black?
If I go by his color, I would say he's black.
Are there people that look just like him that are Dominican?
Yes, a bunch.
Okay, cool. When the word black is being used, it means African descent. So now black people hear Dominicans say, I'm not black, I speak Spanish. What the hell does the language that you speak have to do with?
Well, hold on. I explained to you that we are mixed. Like you're trying to say they all come from Africa. Even if his color is black, he could feel European.
There's no way I could ever assimilate into whiteness, even though I got 15% Irish.
Even if the color of your skin is black and you say you have European, how you identify more as a European or as a black American?
As a black person. This very superficial color of skin dictates a lot in this country. But I would imagine the black people that look like me in the Dominican Republic probably making lower income and have lower access too. Okay, so I have a question for you. Of all of the presidents of the Dominican Republic, have a majority of them look like me with my color?
No, we have one candidate, but...
Okay, that's all I'm asking. If you look at all of the big companies in the Dominican Republic, are a majority of them, their CEOs look like me?
Not really. We have a bunch of black CEOs there. You're making the color of his skin as an excuse. I used to live in Harlem, so I have a lot of black friends there. And let me tell you something. They will stay home smoking pot. So if you get the opportunity and you get the chance and the government is paying you a loan so you could go to school, why they don't go to school? I mean, you cannot keep feeling as a victim when you have a chance to grow, to become better. Don't tell me the Spanish are going to come from Dominican and go over there, not even speaking English, and they're going to progress. They're going to buy a bodega. And you, American, who speak English and who have all the chances in the world, you can make it.
You asked me, Mexico is deporting Haitians. Are they racist?
Yes, I asked you that.
I'll answer it for you. The answer is yes. Let me prove it to you. Mexico has systemically made the effort to bring in Europeans. They brought in Europeans by the boatloads because they wanted to whiten Mexico. For the same reason why in Dominican Republic, Trujillo wiped out how many black people from Dominican Republic? And for that same reason, because these colonized countries in Latin America are trying to whiten the countries. You were Dominican Republic, and you are the barber.
Man, Buddy was cooking him just now, man. And you see his Dominican dude, and this is how a lot of, at the term, non-FBA people, or tethers, if you will, when they come into the States, they have a disdain for Black Americans.
Right.
A certain percentage, wherever you were living at,
Yeah, I've
there's
seen
good
it.
people everywhere.
I've seen
But you're
it.
saying, and I've heard Africans say this too, you guys have all the opportunity. You have a social security number, you have citizenship, you have all these things, and I can come to the country and do this. The majority of you have communities set up, right? You
Right.
have communities set up in place here.
Exactly.
Black Americans, you have communities set up, but it's not, we don't have so much things in place in terms of this is the system. Unlike some African, some Caribbean, Asian, some Chinese folks, they have their small communities already set up here
Exactly,
that
yeah.
are basically guiding them. Like, but I don't want to say it's nepotism because it's not so much, but it's basically like, hey, follow this example. It's a shoe-in. All you have to do is do these things, and you're going to be successful and have your own business. Not
Right.
so much like that in Black
Exactly.
America with Black folks. All they want to do is sit home all day and smoke weed. It's just that, as far as solidarity in the Black community in America, it's not really there. And we've only been free for 60 years, guys, roughly. And with all the stuff that has occurred and all the trials and tribulations, you come in here from your country and have the nerve to criticize Black folks that's already living here when you didn't go through any of the struggle. The same freedoms that you are able to enjoy,
Right.
the same freedoms that you are able to take advantage of are
Exactly.
because of Black Americans. It is because of foundational Black Americans. A lot of you, when you immigrate to the United States, just remember that you fled your country. You could not do that back in your country. Your
Exactly.
country, for the most part, was a failed
Exactly.
country. You didn't have those opportunities, so you fled there instead of helping your own people and building it up to come
Right.
to America and criticize Black Americans.
Exactly.
Criticize foundational Black Americans, which
Right.
is just crazy to me, but you don't bother to think about that. You don't participate in any of the struggle. So I can tell this guy has a disdain for Black Americans or foundational Black Americans. But you're not a special race. You just speak Spanish. You just happen to be Black and speak Spanish. That's all it is at the end of the day. And the fact that he said, I am white, is crazy to me.
Right.
Colorism plays a huge part. This other guy gave examples of the fact that who are most of the leadership, the CEOs and things like that. It does play a big part. There's skin whitening products all over. People
Right.
trying to feel like, you look at most filters on pictures on social media,
Right.
and Black women from other countries and here are using lighter filters because they think that they're more beautiful or that people will take them more seriously. But let's get into the rest of this clip, guys. Let's go.
You were in Dominican Republic and you were at the barber shop and your barber said to you that Dominicans are only beautiful.
He said black people, like very dark people, are beautiful only if they have like ¿cómo yo digo eso en español?
Light skin, Eurocentric features.
Exactly, like a little bit smaller nose. And I told him, bro, I don't have that complexion and I'm more beautiful than you for sure.
So with that said, why are a lot of Dominicans determined to say that colorism doesn't exist in Dominican Republic? Why?
It doesn't exist. They don't know what it means. You know what's the problem here with racism and colorism and no acostumbramos? Like we get used to it.
It's normalized. It's become normal.
Exactly. It's normalized. But a lot of people tell to their sons, like, don't marry a very dark person.
The phrase mejorar la raza is something very real in your country.
Yeah, it's so normalized that we said that for years and years and years and years and years.
It's become part of the culture. Yeah, same with us, man. Same with Mexicans, man. Same in Mexico. Same thing. We don't even think we're wrong for wanting to tell our children to marry light-skinned people para mejorar la raza, to improve the race. We don't see evil. We don't see nothing wrong. We don't question it. It's become normalized. It's become part of the culture.
But they keep saying that, like, ese tipo tan negro, ¿por qué tú te casaste con él?
Guys, it's unfortunate it's that way. I've covered a few videos where there was a young lady, she was talking about this, and how her family was telling her, why are you marrying a black man? I think she was in the Marine Corps or something like that. Why are you marrying a black man? Mejora la raza. Mejora la raza. Mejora la raza. Mejora la raza. I know I'm probably going to run that back a few times. I don't speak Spanish. But anyway, better the race. Don't marry. The lighter you are, the better off. You're not really attractive as a black person unless you have European features. This is what has been instilled. They've been indoctrinated. They've been raised this way to feel that way. Colorism is very strong, and as they say, you don't know what it is. You're told that you're white because it's just a thing to do. But I've heard this a few times. You go down there, it's still a conversation. I'm not. I Dominican. I know black. So it's an insult. And like this dude, you know, shout out to Carlo Malice. He covers that from a Puerto Rican side of things in terms of saying I'm Boricua, I'm not black. But I've met a few Puerto Ricans throughout my lifetime, and they say they have people in their family from all different colors, and that's just the nature of it, guys. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. Comment below.
really, what I think about it is dumb. I mean, you in a warm tropical climate. Think about this now. You're next to the equator. What does that have to do? Naturally, your skin, scientifically, medically, you're going to have melanin, and most people that live in melanated areas is going to be dark. These people in these countries like Dominican and India, they've been brainwashed. That they think that just because, okay, the whiter you are, that the higher class you're going to go. And that's what that stuff is. The whiter you are, the higher class you're going to go. And it goes back that you see how racism is? Racism is so deep, it's spiritual, that not only we suffer it, but the other people are suffering the same thing. And this is what I be pointing out in my videos, man. And I said, in India, you know, it's like Africa is right on the equator. And it's like right next to the equator. And you got one group of people thinking that they're higher than the other group of people. Lord have mercy. That don't make no sense. I guess I guess they figured he died. I guess there's gonna be a guy that's gonna have the one serving that dark and the one serving that light. That's how dumb this stuff is. But yet, you know, when you look at life and people get struck with illnesses and sickness, does illness and sickness decide what color your skin is? Did the coronavirus decide that? Or the HDN1, cancer? When did you ever know a disease that go by your skin color and say majority, these people gonna get it? What, since the pandemic, did the pandemic pick you based on your skin color? Did the pandemic? This is how mind war. It's James. This is still, but this is what these people think. This is what some of them really off the rocker think. That they so superior and so intellectual, they really believe that shit. Or you think you so that the light you are, you're gonna avoid death. Or you think that you're not gonna be poor, you're not gonna be sick in your body. Or you thinking that because because your essence. What makes you superior? What the heck makes you superior to somebody because of someone is dark? Then you see right now in the midst of the war, you got literally light and white Arabs fighting little white, and this how deep it is. Even in
Do you trade options? Access deeper liquidity around the clock. With E-mini
it's not only about religion. It's not even about skin complexion. But do you see who the people going at each other? If you go by skin complexion, who the majority of people are fighting against each other based on skin complexion? Most of the people in Hamas have a lighter skin than the people who are opposing them in this war, and that's the Israelis. But do you know that they have a complexion problem too? Oh yeah. All these people in the Ukraine, they got the same problem. Oh yeah. They don't want dark people over there. They don't want black people, Africans over there. What does another human being by his complexion have something to do with that? What do you don't like about something? That's the greatest mystery is around. Then when they find out when prosperity is, some of these same racist people among these groups will want to go and be in the same. And some of these Indians probably been over to different places in Africa. Some of these same Indians who are racist have been over in America. They come into the black community. Some of these same Indians who are racist like some of the Arab counterparts and some certain Latino parts, but they come around. But we good enough, but we not good enough to be in your family? Really? Really? Well, guess what? I hope the darker ones, when the roles reverse, let's see how it goes. What if the darker ones turn out to be richer? What if the darker ones turn out to get the higher class? What if the darker ones? I would love to see something like that. And to me, someone offered me. I've heard a couple incidents about the DR, man, and this is not the first time. But I've heard other people say. I've heard testimony about people going down there, and black people going down. And some black people going down there, and other people going down there. I don't see no point in going to a place like that. Of all the places in the Caribbean, I don't see why some brothers go down there. But they want your money, but they don't want you. And then when you get down there, they probably treat the white boy a lot better than you. Ain't that? I heard about that part. Why would you want to go to some place like that? Someone try to talk to you, say, man, you can come down. Man, I ain't going no DR. For what? And I can deal with that. What they dealing with when it comes to colorism up here in America. Oh Jesus! And I'm not saying everybody's like that, but come on, that don't make no damn sense. You in a warmer tropical climate. How you gonna be racist against somebody, not like somebody, because they were out there in the sun longer than you had? And let me tell you, to them darker Indians and them whiter and light Dominicans and Republic, do you know that them dark people that you looking down can maintain the sun, and they're more healthier than you are anyway, because they got melanin D in it. But you're superior. But if you go to the lighter people, they have less deficiency in their skin. This is fact. So if whites is such a skin, a recessive skin, why is it that it's the same people you put that some people of that class, whiter class, get skin cancer when they stand to a certain amount of time? Why is it? Scientifically, I have shown them as a video. There are certain countries that get higher rate of skin cancer because they're light to white. And I did a video about that a while ago. Why is that? Who told you that? Who told you that? Because the darker the darker is, the less intelligent and poverty. It ain't always gonna be like that. And I believe when the Most High come back, He gonna reset the whole thing. Them same people that had that mindset are gonna be serving the ones that's darker. Yeah. And if you don't serve it, you're going straight to the pit. That's right. That's right. You're gonna be the very, very people that with that mindset is going straight to the doggone pit. Because that don't make no damn sense. That don't make no sense for someone not to like somebody based on something that God put on their skin. And to anybody who was dark complected or were born with a complexion, you're not a curse. The ones who's doing that, they're cursed. The ones who's saying it, they're cursing themselves. Because how is somebody gonna sit there and make you feel inferior because it's something you was naturally born with? Wow. It's not like you had a choice to come out the womb whenever they were born, the light. And did you know that in India there was I heard this, that they would encourage them to abort their children if they come out light. This how sick-minded some parts of India is. Like, they obsessed with white, man. Like certain countries, he's right. They obsessed with that stuff. Like you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you go to Europe and they find you, they don't give a damn how it don't work over there, because some of the same Indians who are light, they go through discrimination over there. They get when they wear their natural garment. I heard the fair complected people call them the dot people because the women wear the traditional thing on their head. They white people who they look up to call them the dot people. They do. Oh, there go them dot people again. But these are the same people they look up to, and these are fair. The people I've heard say this were white people, fair complected, the ones they put as idol gods with blue eyes. Yeah, yeah, and they figured that. Well, you'll get a better education and get a career because you're light. Oh, only if you know. And tell me some light Indians and light Hispanics. Tell me that they don't go through some things when they get around some other Europeans and find out, and they have an accent. Tell me, is it better? You don't think you think it because it's about dark? Oh no, they don't just discriminate because you're dark. They discriminate because they don't like you. And I bet you there's some ones who are not in that kind of position, even though they come from some of the highest one, they still go through discrimination. They don't take them seriously. In some of them, and that's the funny part about racism, man. It's like racism don't make no sense. Some of these people that say, "Okay, now I'm good," but no, look at those people. They're the dirty people. But the same people, then they turn around. This how it kind of pissed me off. But they same one, they'll go among black people. But if black people, it was wealth transferred over them and status and everything, these same people that don't want to be part of your skin color be the same ones, but be trying to get in your family. They said, well, I didn't say all of them were bad. But yet they going out spending money in your business and in your community. But they ain't good enough. Then when somebody in your community marries somebody and they legitimately fall in love, you gonna disown them. Ain't that a bitch? That just gets me, man. It's like, really? You think that you're gonna be accepted by the other groups of people and that they have to show white? Like, oh, I mean, I bet you don't see that many Europeans looking at Bollywood movies. Sometimes I've heard white people say they don't understand the accent. I was like, shit. I've heard this come from white people. That even just the accent. Because some people have a thick Pakistani Indian accent. And even some Spanish people. You got white people don't want to be bothered that, but yet the same people they look upon as a Christ figure. This is the truth. And sometimes some white people resent that they be in certain industries. Yeah. Oh yeah. They can't stand it when they have to deal with them on. Oh, get someone to speak English on the phone. I don't understand what you're saying. And they be from their countries. This is what they you looking up to the wrong people. And I'm just pointing this out because there's people that have said that, and they do go this discrimination unless they have their own, tech business or something and make money or whatever, or run some corporation. Not to me make it to the top, and not to me make it to them white spaces. But yet, because really, like I said, it's just stupid. It's just plain stupid. But I'm about to shut this video show. I don't want to make it too long, but it was to show you how you gonna talk about other people and think that you don't think it's gonna turn back around and someone gonna discriminate against you. And in the DR and the people in the DR, come on. You have the damn there people who talk like that. You have to at the equator, so it's hot down there. So naturally you're gonna be dark. I mean, but it's something wrong with you because you're too dark. We at the equator. If you go someplace and down someplace in Florida, or in parts of Georgia, of course the people are gonna be darker down there. What the? Oh man, you're gonna be dark. That's how dumb. And it's like I wouldn't want to go to a country if people are that damn stupid that can't accept another human being based on their race. I wouldn't want to even deal with that. And maybe it's not everybody like that, but that don't make no damn sense. You know, like that person have a choice when they were born, like they were a baby. But they gotta make you feel inadequate because of you. But the same people and that do that, they do that in religion.
Have you recently
and
purchased a new CNC machine,
That's why
a robot,
different
or
things.
just
It's all
looking?
different
Black,
religions.
and they don't even like the Arabs.
But this is what they do. But they have to wipe it up and stuff. Like wow, and that's why when I did this is how the world, not America, but other places in the world, look at skin tone, hair features, and say that this people are inadequate than these people, based on and feel like they just abide by God, some God that think that they're better than other people. And don't know that you ain't above anybody. You're not above the circumstances of life. What makes you think that you can get sick like the dark person can? You can be poor like the dark person can. You can have unfortunate symptoms. You can have accidents and everything. What makes you think that you're superior? Because there's people that in high places have passed away. Someone is in the home that is in poverty. Poverty don't care like, oh, I'm here for the poor people. When like I said, when did you ever know a disease discriminate based on skin color, class? None. And even if you did something, you're going to go die anyway. What you gonna think you're going to go to heaven? It's going to be like that. That's all the head rhetoric, and this is going to anybody. You really think that? If you do that, you're a fool. You're nothing but a fool. Because your class, your name, your education status, and that's all you have down here when it comes to the end of your life. That's all you're going to have until the people who think like that. But to the women with their families, I feel bad for them. And people that make their families that make them feel like that, they're going to find out one day when they leave this world. And God may go disown them. I'm going to disown you because of that. I'm going to put you, and I'll tell you what, it'd be funny, they'll be serving the people who are dark. Imagine, you this would be the funniest thing. Oh, you got something against skin complexion? You saying that when I create that being, that they was made to serve because based on skin tone? Well, guess what? The lighter people could be serving, them same people with that mindset could be serving the darker people in the afterlife. And if they do that, they say, okay, either you serve them or you go down to the lake of fire. How you like them apples? Because if you look at the book of Revelation, the one who created life and death, and what the man saw, dark feet like brass, dark brass, burnt like fire. So I would say to you, the one that responsible for every life that's on the planet, that he saw, decides to come and go, control the weather, the winds, the wildlife, the plant life. Is something wrong? If you would see a being in heaven, you think he's going to be pure white? If you sit right there, have someone to show you the Bible. Show you the one who's the resurrection. I would say it to some of the Dominicans and Indians and other people like that. Because if you think you might as well get away and enjoy it, but when you get over to the afterlife, you might be served something. He might turn back around and say, "Yeah, remember them dark people you have you said what you said, I'm gonna have you. You're gonna be their servant. Now you'll be an eternity serving some dark people, and that'll be your punishment. That would be the greatest event for eternity. You had all that racism, and then you didn't repent for it. You disown your family, and what if God said, I disown you? Because really, when you tell another human being based on something like that, basically you're gonna get in return if you don't repent and say you're sorry. Make it right with that person. So that's the message I got to say in this video. But it's like it was a choice. And anybody that carry that mindset in any part of the world, you're stupid. You're just plain stupid. Or your parents, whoever carry that mindset, they're stupid. And I hope it translates to different languages. Saying you stupid, you don't make no doggone sense. That don't make no sense. You next to the equator, where it's hot, where it's hot, and you're gonna discriminate against some people because based on their skin color. You live, and you would, and it's like if that was the case, you didn't want to be around dark people. You could have went some. There's some cold places in the north, or very, and you think it's gonna be better for you, go to Ukraine or go to Poland, and be the white Indians, be white Dominicans. Go to some of them places. Go to Belarus. Go some parts of Russia. And why are you here? Oh, we had to get away from the dark people. So, especially the ones that got that coloristic problem. Send them to them countries. They'll take you to some certain countries in the Middle East that got colorism problems. You think that's what it is? You think that's what it is, right? Based on someone's skin color. Based on something that God, the Most High God, made every human being on the planet, even though every human being have worship different deities, but really, it was the great I Am that makes sure that every human being come into the world. That's a fact. And it's gonna be the great when death comes. It don't have no skin complexion. It don't have no time. Time don't care. Circumstances don't care. Too bad you got some people that haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, some places that have that kind of mindset. I don't think I'll be visiting your country if I had the money. Why should I prosper some idiot who had that, or some idiots that have that kind of mindset in their country? If I'm not welcome, my money ain't welcome, and I don't see why some people can understand that. I don't care how beautiful their women is or anything. Don't make no sense. You gotta go through that. Well, anyway, that's my rant for the evening. But yeah, these are the last days. People are losing common sense. Hope you enjoyed the video. Shout out to the channels. I Got Game and Go Back to Africa and JR for pointing this out. And yeah, JR is right. Don't make no sense. Lightening your skin. So basically, you're telling the one that brought you through your mother's womb, who practically died birthing you, that he made a mistake based on your skin. Real smart. Real smart. Think about that. But people just never learn, will they? Alright then. Till next time, be blessed and take care. And to the ones who have been told that you're blessed, you're not cursed. All because of what God made you on your body. So take note of that. You had a purpose to be here. Not to serve and be up under some idiot. Take care.